Let's talk about seam rippers. So how do you choose a seam ripper when there's so many options out there and they all basically do the same thing? Hi, I'm Kim with Deluxe. The primary function of a seam ripper is to remove unwanted stitches or seams. But yet there are many design features in each of our seam rippers that will help make this tedious job easier to do. First, let's look at the anatomy of a seam ripper. All seam rippers have a protective cap that protect the point and the blade during storage. They also help keep you from getting stabbed when you reach into that drawer or bag for your seam ripper. And in many of the designs, the cap will fit over the end of the handle, and this elongates the handle and makes it easier to hold and use. The point allows you to carefully select the stitches that you need to remove and slide under them easily. The blade is curved, sits behind the point and the safety ball. It's designed to easily cut the threads as you push it through the stitches. A fine blade is used on most seam rippers and will work in almost any situation. The heavy-duty blade is for thicker threads and for fabric, like top stitch threads or denim, or for ripping fabric. The red safety ball protects the fabric as you work to remove the stitches. Without this feature, you could easily damage the fabric around your stitches. This seam ripper has been in our collection for years. The protective cap has a ridge around the edge, and that keeps the seam ripper from rolling away when you set it down. The cap also fits over the end of the ripper, and that extends the length of the handle, and it makes it easier to hold as you use it. It is a fine blade seam ripper. The seam ripper and threader has tools that are inserted into a clear cap, and then they're removed, turned around, placed back in the cap for use. So that extends the handle, has a fine blade, and the cover is actually hexagon shaped. So again, it prevents it from rolling around. A threader is also included in this tool for added convenience as you work. The Deluxe seam ripper has a protective cap over a heavy-duty blade, and then it has a long extended handle that fits comfortably in your hand. The flat shape of the handle will keep it from rolling off your work surface. The curved blade seam ripper is unique because the blade is not protected behind a point or a safety ball. So for this reason, it's very important that you use a lot of care as you replace and remove the cap. It's a curved blade that's very sharp and comes to a point. The handle also features a thumb hold that makes it very easy to use. It can be used with all stitches, but it's specially designed for serge stitches. Our ergonomic seam rippers are designed to be comfortable to use and provide less hand stress and fatigue as you work. So let's take a look at the first set. The cap has a flat area that prevents the seam ripper from rolling when you place it down. There's a fine blade version as well as a heavy duty version, and the handles are sized appropriately for each blade. The handles are long and have rounded curves, so it makes it really comfortable in your hand. And this dark purple material is actually a soft grip material, so it's very comfortable and has a little cushion to it. There's a flat area, and that's where you can place your finger and use it as a finger hold. Let's take a look at the second set of ergonomic seam rippers. There's a fine blade and a heavy blade version, and you can see that the handles are sized appropriate for each blade. The cap can be removed and actually placed on the end of the handle, again providing a longer handle, making it easier to work with and to hold on to. In the center, there's a soft gripped area that has indentions. This helps you to be able to hold it comfortably, whatever your grip might be, and it's also very comfortable because of the material. The Magnified LED seam ripper is loaded with features. It has a protective cap to protect the point and blade. It also is a fine blade seam ripper, but it has soft, slip-resistant finger ridges to help you hold and control the seam ripper more easily. The 3x magnifier attaches to the seam ripper, and it can rotate around the ripper. So it can be straight on, or if you want to work to the side, you can just rotate it on the seam ripper. It also can be removed. It's just clipped onto the back of it. The LED light helps you to see stitches more easily. So I have an example here with dark fabric, and if we just go normal, you can't really see the stitches. If I put the magnifier down, you can see that it's magnifying my seam ripper, but I still can't really see those stitches. When I turn on the LED, just like that, those stitches just pop out and they're so easy to see, and I can break those stitches very easily with the seam ripper. The handle is flat, helps you to hold it a little bit easier, and then there's a battery cover that you can replace the batteries. We have an entire family of seam fix seam rippers. There's a variety of ripper sizes, handle styles, but all of them have the soft rubber tip that can be used to erase away stitch threads. The first step for using a seam fix seam ripper is to break every third or fourth stitch with your seam ripper, and then you simply pull away the bobbin thread, and that makes all these little thread hairs pop up, but they're stuck into your fabric. So you simply just take the seam fix eraser and you just erase and pull all those threads out. The seam fix seam ripper has the cap with a thread eraser, but you can also use the small tip at the end to erase threads. It has a fine blade, a round handle that is long, it's easy to hold, and then there's also ridges in the handle that you can use to help grip the seam ripper more easily. The Seam Fix Mini Seam Ripper has a cap with a thread eraser. That cap can be removed and replaced on the handle to extend the handle, make it easier to use. And then there's a fine blade seam ripper. The Seam Fix double-sided seam ripper has two sizes of blades. Heavy duty blade, it's covered with a cap with a thread eraser, and a fine blade, again covered with a cap with a thread eraser. The cone-shaped handle has fine ridges in it that help you to be able to grip as you're using it, and we do recommend that you always replace both caps when you get ready to erase threads. There are two arrows embossed into the center of the handle. The large arrow is for the heavy-duty blade, and the small arrow is for the fine blade. The Seam Fix tool includes a seam ripper and an awl. The cap has a thread eraser, and the non-slip handle tucks nicely into the palm of your hand while you're using the tool. There's a fine blade seam ripper, and the conal shape of the handle has fine ridges that again help you to grip while you're working. The metal awl is very sharp, so you can use it to poke holes in leather or vinyl, but you can also use it as a stiletto while you're sewing or pressing to hold down those seams or to work extra fabric underneath the machine needle. Always be sure to have both caps on your Seam Fix tool when you're erasing threads. So as you can see, there are a lot of choices when it comes to seam rippers. I hope this helps you to understand the features and benefits of each style and helps you to make the choice that's best for you.